Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And good afternoon, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, on at a very special time because we have a very special time zone that we want to accommodate today. Today, we are going to get back into the world of crowdfunded comics. And after 5 days in a row, we have finally left Kickstarter and come back to Indiegogo. It's a homecoming. We have come back to Indiegogo for a new project. And I would like to welcome to the show the new Fab Four, those mad lads from beyond the pond, CGUK's Bargain Bin. And we will start with, I don't think you guys have a leader, but we'll bring Jacobus up here because he's the one who brought us. Am I saying that correctly? Is it Jacobus or Jacobus, or how would you say that?
Jacobus, Jack, Bob, I don't really mind. As long as it's not offensive, I'm good.
Well, I would think if somebody mispronounced your name, you might take offense. You never know. It's 2021. So it's a very... But here's the thing, I will never get your pronouns wrong because I won't use them when I'm talking to you. So there we go.
I don't have any.
all my nouns still have their amateur status, so none of them have gone pro.
Yeah.
We also have Bristolian Dave. I'm assuming that means you're from Bristol or you have Bristols. I'm not sure. Which one is that?
I am from Bristol, where we say, all right, me babbers. That's how we greet you.
All right.
Nice to be on the show, RJ.
Glad to have you here. And then no stranger to the show because he's been here before, Arya Black. Arya, I love that new avatar you're rocking there. That's
pretty sexy, right?
Yeah, it's another Kami Mark innovation, right?
No, I just had some work done.
Just had a shave.
And then finally, we are bringing in Mr. Rob Price from Rob Price Tunes. Rob, welcome.
Hello. Hi. Good to be here.
Glad to have you here. So what do you guys? You guys have an interesting collective because I don't see the same kind of camaraderie going on in the U.S. when it comes to their CG folk. I
hope that's a good thing.
Yeah,
no, I'm sure it's a good thing.
I mean, we're close, but we're not that close.
Yeah, there's just CG, but sometimes they cross paths, sometimes they run their own shows. But we don't have like USCG, so it's not. We don't have our own hashtag. I'm kind of jealous.
The only thing is, if a movement starts in a place, you don't have to define geographically. By the way, we're in America, y'all.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the United States is that we have claimed corporately the word America. I've had a friend in Colombia who flew up to North America and was greeted at the airport with welcome to America, and he's like, I didn't know I left. I'm in South America, you know that, right? but you guys have formed quite a large group, CGUK. How many do you think there are in CGUK right now?
At least
we have loads.
40, 50, something like that, yeah.
That's huge. I was going to think back about 10 because I knew that Charlie and Jans and Kami Mark, those three were missing from what we see right now, and 50's a big deal. I think there's more than 50. I think you've got more over there than we have over here.
Yeah, I mean, Kami Mark in the chat will probably be able to tell us the exact number because he's one of the originators of the CGUK bunch.
Yeah.
Shall I? I've got my laptop open. I'm gonna have a quick look at
you
the
can have a
group
count,
chat.
are you?
Yeah, go ahead. Switch over.
Yeah.
I messaged nearly everybody in that group chat individually today, and it took me a long time. That's how many it is.
But yeah, we've got like obviously creators, but then you've also got just fans as well in there, like supporters. Which, to be honest, without those people, and one's just popped up now, Michael McCartney. He's a CGUK. He's not a creator, but without him and his promotions, his retweeting and everything else, it's like a lot of the books probably wouldn't do as well. So
We love you, Mikey.
Good job on you, Mike. But you guys are creators, and you've done individual creations before with separate books, or you all worked on the same anthology together? Just how did you guys come together to do this project?
Well, some of us have, and some of us haven't. For example, I think Jacobus, what we're going to be promoting tonight is actually your first delve into making your own comic book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Arya has, but I think he's busy right now. He's been working on Tailless for a number of years. Myself, I'm not going to show it right now, but as you can see here, Rattle and Roll is my own IP, which I actually brought out last year before I knew of the existence of any of these fine young gentlemen.
Now, when you brought it out, were you planning on it being a CG kind of branded thing? Because
no, just an indie comic. Mainly because, well, let's put it this way. I mean, I didn't know that, for example, Peter Sametti, he's actually a promoter of CG as well, of course. And I did pitch the first 8 pages to him, but it wasn't taken up. So I'm most upset. But in any case, the first one's out already. I brought it out myself, and I'm happy with the response. I think everybody, when they bring out a project, they think, well, could be a little bit more, but I'm happy, and I'm getting some positive reviews for it, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and especially because I am an unknown. I mean, I was making comics back in the 80s, but only for myself and only regionally. I brought out a kind of comic zine in my hometown of Grimsby called Offs, OFFS, with a bunch of friends, and we sold a few, but it wasn't a huge commercial success. But we didn't have the support system that's available now. And I think, whose show were we on the other night? And I mentioned that the possibilities, and especially the possibilities with this book, that really is Jacobus's brainchild. So big on, man. We're giving people the opportunity, like unknowns, people who want to break into comic books, people who have ideas but don't so far know what to do with them. That's what we're doing, and that's a great thing, I think.
That is a very cool thing, because I know a lot of people who would say, I want to write a comic book. I write novels. I'd love to turn something into a graphic novel, but I have no artist to work with. I know I could hire one, but then that comes down to the subject of money.
Sure. Yeah.
I have none of that either. We have a passing relationship, nothing more.
Passing relationship, passing through my hands.
Yeah. It hardly even touches my hand. It passes through my bank account, and then I watch it all trickle away to everybody who's sucking it out. I'm like,
is that a trickle-down economy?
Yeah, so
it's a trickle across.
We've had writers come to us, say, like, I've got this idea for a story, but I don't have an artist, where, like, we've then gone out and found that person an artist, and just kind of, like, teamed them up for this project.
And then they actually can work as sort of a creative team rather than an art for hire kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk. because
absolutely,
that's something I could work with.
Yeah, sure. Dave, what about your experience?
Yes.
If I'm honest, before this, nothing. This is my first ever stories in this book, and I've also got a separate comic I'm working on called Smiter, which hopefully sign up maybe towards the end of the year. But yeah, this is my first foray, and I think you asked how we sort of came up with this. Well, Jacobus sort of joined the CGUK lot with the rest of us, and he arranged a show, first of all, the bargain bin show.
I assembled a team of top-notch people. They all let me down. So I went to these lot.
Let's be clear. The bag and bin. We didn't even have a name for the show for 3 weeks, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, we
The chat
got the name
named
from
us.
the chat.
Who came up with that?
Well, I think that's one of the many positive things that has come out of the whole CG and crowdfunding movement is that there is this support structure for people who haven't done anything before, maybe thought about it, and now there's a reason to try, and you get the support and the help in actually making it a success. Now I don't know what CG is seen as in the UK. I don't know that CG is seen as anything in the UK like it's not seen as anything in the US. I think it's only seen as something on Twitter, so maybe regions don't matter.
No, put it this way. I went into my local comic shop, so I found out about CG about at the start of the pandemic, basically,
Okay.
like so two and a bit years ago now. And I said to them, like, you heard about CG or anything, like trying to find out some more info. They were like, I don't have a clue what you're on about, mate. We know Ethan Van Sciver, obviously, from his previous work, but apart from that, we don't have a clue. And it seems to be that way a lot in the UK. I don't think comics obviously aren't quite as big as they are in America. It's like your original sort of publications, whereas European comics and UK comics kind of slowed over here for a long period. So
you don't have the as much thought about physical pushback like we were getting physical pushback here in the States for a while, and it was like like the brick through the store window, somebody stole something and everyone was like, look, it's CG in action. Like, what? And then Mark Waid, of course, saying, hey, if you see Richard C. Meyer at this convention, you come pull me off a panel and I'm going to go confront him, blah blah blah. And it's almost like it got too hot and God said, okay, y'all stay in your houses for a year and a half now and cool off.
I've not seen anything like that in the UK. Not a
No.
single
No.
thing.
To be fair, comic books aren't that big of a thing really in the UK as they are over there.
Yeah. I think comic books are such a small, have such a small collection of fans in the UK, and then CG is, a fraction of that. There's never going to be a big CG presence in the wider UK comic book scene. But, I just counted, we are one member shy of 50 members currently in our group chat. And, we as a small group are probably the most connected, tangent of Comics Game.
Yeah, you guys are a real example to the US groups on how to connect and support each other. And I mean, you guys go so far as like schedule your own shows separate from each other so that nobody steps on anybody's toes. And over here, we're just like, I'm going to stream right now. Oh, hell, Ethan Van Sciver streaming. That's why nobody's watching. That's my excuse. I always use that one.
Nearly,
Let me just check how many
every
people we
day.
got watching.
you'll see in,
Yeah. All three of them right now. according to the app.
One of them's me.
Yeah, it's you guys. You guys are the ones watching right now. I swear to God, I've been at this 2.5 years. 2.5 years, and it's like I don't know how I got monetized. It was only recently, 4,000 watch hours. I had this thing that I was like coloring in every 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, I got another 50. We're almost there, yay! But I'm proud to say I didn't buy a single subscriber. They're all organic. The watch hours may be a bit wonky because I might have turned on another computer and let it go and gone to sleep with it muted.
Can't blame you.
Playlist start.
Yes, and tomorrow night do the same thing.
Shh.
Don't let YouTube know. They're not watching this.
They
But
got
yeah,
other things to watch. They're watching the bargain bin.
But you guys do put up a really good example, and I'm proud of you guys. I want to be like you guys now.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now you've got this project. I'm trying to bring it up. I've got it shared. I just haven't got the button to share it here. Twisted Fairy Tales. And the first time I saw this, we used to have an animated show here decades ago. It was part of the Bullwinkle and Rocky show, and it was called Fractured fairy tales. That was the first thing I was thinking of. But
I remember that. Yeah.
but these are a little bit different here. They're also recognizable in a Disney sense. For instance, Snow White there is very recognizable, I think. So hopefully nobody sees this book except for the millions of people who will buy it. But what was the idea to go with the fairy tales, the twisted fairy tales, and why that? What made you say this is what we're going to do?
By thinking behind the fairy tales is everybody knows fairy tales, so it's really easy for artists to show off their creativeness, whereas writers struggle to get that out there a bit. So by setting like a page limit, a story outline, and you've got to put a twist on that story in your page limit, like that's the pure creativeness of the writers. Whereas like the artists, as you'll see, like the artists are great as well. But you can see that just by looking at it. So it was about getting the writers shown as well.
Now the art styles have been very divergent from each other too. I mean, you've got some of them are more cartoony, some of them are more realistic, some of them are sexy, some of them are not. But the first thing I want to ask is this really going to be hardcover?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
looks sexy,
ballsy.
don't it?
That is ballsy. We're putting out a hardcover comic book anthology. Okay, I'm in. And it does say hardback here. I was like, it was right off the screen when I was looking at it, and now it's like scroll down. It's like, oh, duh, you idiot. Just reading is fundamental, RJ. So, gosh. So tell us about some of the stories that are in here. Some of the twisted fairy tales we're going to see.
I mean, it's hard to say too much about the stories because the page count ranges from 3 to 10 pages. So it's hard to say what they are without giving the twist away and ruining it for when you read it for the first time.
Yeah,
this is true. This is true. I mean, sometimes it takes longer to. I get more words sometime in a comic book review than we're in the full comic book itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you do have a ton of them. Is this locked? I mean, is this?
It's 99% locked in now. If someone comes along with something amazing, already finished, we'll see if we can get it in there.
Maybe as a stretch goal, no? But
yeah.
Well, I see some very familiar names here. Obviously, Charlie's London, Kami Mark, Jacobus. Now, Piper's not in the UK. I know that.
Piper's an honorary UK member.
We got a visa from Tijuana.
Yeah.
This book's not strictly UK. Most of it is UK and like CG Europe.
Yeah, there's a lot of European artists and creators in this.
Yeah, and I see the Zvi is in here, the rabbi from another planet, with pure blood, and I expect that's going to be probably truly drawn to attract the male gaze because, thank you, Rabbi, that's what you do. He's doing God's work, whether he's in temple or writing comics.
Maybe some female gays will be interested.
Yeah, well,
did you see what I did there?
Did you say that with a Z or a YS? I'm not quite sure. So let's take a look at what we're getting here. You get. Wow, how did I get so far down here? Digital exists. People need digital, and it's probably it's really cheap to ship digital. That's what's really cool about it. So, if somebody starts charging for digital shipping, they're a genius if they get anything. But I'm going to start with the floppy. So you do have a floppy version of this. There's a hardcover, and then there's the soft cover. Well played. Yeah, cover both bases.
The floppy artwork cover is done by Aria, which you can see at the top.
Oh yeah.
At the top is the. I think you're still working your way through it at the moment, but it's looking really cool.
So this is the soft cover.
Yeah.
Artwork
So
right
it's
here. the black
still a
and white.
work in progress. This cover's going to be a wraparound, and like all the stories, there's going to be a twist involved. So that's the reason why I'm not going to show you the full art just yet until it's all completed. But
I was going to say there's one guy. The night is man spreading here, so if there's a twist involved, I'm thinking that Peroni's ad might need to be running on the stream. You know, just, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you look it up in Google.
I'll look it up.
Peyroниes. Just so
All right.
but it's 100 pages. It's a ton of tales. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun here. So have you what's been the reception so far? I mean, have you shared peeks at any of the? You have shared peeks or further down here. I have read this thing. I've read what's been available at least. So what's been the reception like within and without of the UK?
When I released this Princess and the Frog story, I had it on my Twitter page for free for everyone to read for ages, and that got a great reception, like way better than I thought it would. And then everything else we have pretty much kept really close to our chest because I really don't want to spoil any of it, because like when people was telling me like their story ideas or like sending me the scripts, I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, oh no, I'll put that to that side. I don't want to give that one away. Like, oh, that's brilliant. I don't want to give that away.
Sure, but these are all they're all based on the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen characters. So you could say, hey, we're going to do something with Little Mermaid. We're going to do something with Little Red Riding Hood. That kind of.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Apart from this one that we're looking at right now, that is one of my own creations. The Unpronounceable. But it is really the old in days of yore when knights were bold and sheep were nervous, that kind of stuff. That's like there's a maiden to be rescued from a dragon, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, there's a couple. So in the book, we're gonna have like fairy tales for like the first half, and then we've got originals, which are like original stories that are very, very, very fairy tale-esque, like Rob's unpronounceable night guy.
Nobody even attempts to pronounce it, so it's just become known as the Unpronounceable.
Damn Welsh.
Yeah, so this one you're on now, that's Bristolian Dave and Eric's Gingerbread Man story, which is again absolutely amazing.
I did follow through this, so it's pretty much like a voodoo doll gingerbread thing. She's bringing it to life with a spell. I mean, she's got some of her blood in it. She's got an Aleister Crowley necklace on. This is not a nice granny.
No, but it's obviously I'm going to say I like the twist, but I feel like it's the first page gives off the right vibes for the rest of the story.
Yeah,
the story is hilarious.
So what is the what's the market like? I mean, would you sell this to a 13-year-old, or is there
No.
13 and a half.
I would sell it to a 13-year-old if his parents didn't know about it.
Jacobus would be waiting outside the school gates.
Want to buy a book?
Want to buy a comic?
Nah,
hey, Piper.
at 13,
Thanks for being in the
I'm
chat there.
crying.
If somebody wants to throw Piper a link, she's welcome to jump in here and talk with you guys.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah,
And of course,
not all ages, but
Going back to the different styles, I think one good thing about this is the others I don't know, because there's a little bit of an age difference between myself and my fellow penmans here. But
really?
We won't talk about how they're so old.
Just a little.
we
just
never know.
smidgen.
Rob.
Yeah, I know, right? You never refer to it, do you, Dave?
No, never. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So back for years and years and years, one main difference between British comics, like anthology comics, and the US comics US comics, comic book style, would be one self-contained story in like 24 pages, whereas we had kind of larger format, 32 pages, and it would be so many anthology. Yeah, and there'd be the same characters again and again, but you'd have different stories. And most of those would be kind of humorous. Well, it depends on the genre of the comic. Sometimes the comic was like a bit more serious art style, especially, for example, 2000 AD, which I think everybody has heard of. Warlord, Victor, Battle, etc., battle action, all of those. And then you've got the more humorous style, for example, Crazy Core, Wizard and Chips, Whoopi, Cheeky, where they'd also, the humorous ones, even though they were more humorous, they'd have one or two more serious art style stories involved. And I think what we've actually created here is very much in our subconscious that this is really like that style of comic, that we've got humor, a little bit serious, humor. I mean, it's all a little bit, I would say, from what I've seen, because I think only Jacobus has probably seen all the stories so far, or all the scripts. Some of the themes are a little bit dark. The humor is sometimes in the art, but it's also in the twist. Yeah, but I think this is also a little bit of an homage to or homage, as we say in the UK, to the kind of comics that some of us would have grown up with. And it's a bit of a shame that there aren't as many of those comics as there were in the 70s, 80s, 90s, mainly because these days booksellers, comic shops, newsagents, comics don't have the markup that they used to. They don't have the numbers that they used to. And of course, the shop owners just don't want to commit the shelf space. And it's a real shame, because there's something missing from kids' lives, in comparison to, I think, what we had.
Yeah.
No?
Well, when we were children, and all the children in the U.S. except for me were able to find comic books at a drugstore or a grocery store.
With those revolving racks.
Yes. I could not find them at my grocery store because I grew up in the 70s in Sparta, Illinois. Central to the U.S., which you wouldn't sell comics in Sparta, Illinois, because every comic book in the world was printed in Sparta, Illinois, at the printing plant there. Marvel, DC, Playboy magazine, TV Guide, everything was at World Color Press.
Wow.
This was before they migrated it out to Canadian presses for better paper and cheaper rates. But everybody who worked there just brought home the print overruns. So my comic book shopping was, hey, who do I know whose parents work at the comic book plant? Or let's go hit the garage sales in Sparta.
Wow.
And so I might be a month or two behind, but I got them cheap. And sometimes I got them free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
I'd wait a month or two for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Damn.
Oh my God.
I'd like to just go there, nothing to do with comics, just so I could stand in the bus station or whatever you have in Sparta and say, "This is Sparta!"
Yes.
Just because.
Nobody
They
was
must be
They
must be sick of tourists doing that all the time.
they have no tourists. The town has 9,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Nah, fair enough.
There's nothing to go there to see. You pass through Sparta to go to the tourist spot in Chester, Illinois, which is the comic book related, by the way, the birthplace of Popeye the Sailor. So they have a bronze statue of Popeye at the foot of the bridge right before you cross into Missouri, and you pull over and you look at that. They got a Popeye museum.
That's cool.
They have statues all around town at the different symbol theater. Why I oughta.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. And
Sorry.
Oh, Popeye.
Oh, sorry. I've just seen in the chat, Piper says vocals are recorded for Twisted Fairy Tale song. Waiting on that.
What?
So wait a second. You guys are putting out an album with this?
Piper is, I think.
Piper just see. Piper did a I don't remember who was it. Dark Gift Comics? I don't remember.
I think it was
He was
Dark.
doing a stream where they were like a live open mic night, and I just happened to be getting up at silly o'clock in the morning to go to work, and I said, "Write this a song for Twisted Fairy Tales." Next thing you know, she's tweeting out that she's writing a song for Twisted Fairy Tales. So yeah, nice one, Piper.
Very well done. I keep showing that there's a private chat here, and every time I click it, it doesn't go away. Stupid StreamYard. I'm getting more. I love StreamYard. I almost said being free, but I actually pay for it. But I'm going to have to get, I guess, cable to wire myself up to the hub, because it's got a little bit of a delay on it. And Piper has seen that, because I did the whole open mic night with Dark Gift. I was like, I pulled up like a Rob Thomas karaoke track, and we shared the track over to Dark Gift, and he played it, and I'm sitting here singing along with him. I'm like, yeah, this is working out okay. This is all good. This is all right. You know, I'm here. And then I look at it at the playback, and it's like StreamYard has like distended it and extended it and contracted it, and it's like it's playing faster, then it's playing slow, and then it's like 3 measures behind, and I'm like, oh my God. That was the most horrible thing I've ever seen myself do. Where was I going with this? I have no idea. We're talking fairy tales, which is, of course, you know, your guys' realm. I mean, all the fairy tales that we know over here, they came from the British Isles or Ireland, or nearby. We tried to make up our own, but all we got of it was Paul Bunyan and a guy who rides a tornado.
I think I just put a link in, but I think because I'm not a mod, it's been hidden.
Yeah, it won't.
Did you put it in the private chat?
No, in the YouTube chat. But I'll copy it and put it in the private chat as well.
Yeah, do that. Maybe it'll clear out this red 1 that I keep seeing here that won't go away every time I click into the private chat.
It's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek.
Now I see a red 2. Let's see if I can get it.
All right,
Okay.
It's in the private chat. Or shall I just read it out?
You can read it out, but I'm also going to copy it and paste it. So.
Alrighty, cool. Yeah, the album will be released on the website www.twistedfairytales an album party.
Twisted Fairy Tales and Album Party. So click on that, folks, and when it's released, you can get some music. It'd be cool if you could like embed audio in a PDF, so that when people get the digital, they can just click on the button and hear the music while they're going through the pages. I don't know if you can do that or not.
That'd be awesome. That would.
Again, when I was a child, they did Power Records. Did you guys ever have something like that?
I'm gonna go on a limb and say no.
Okay, it was Power Records. They would do like 33 and a third RPM vinyl albums for Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, and you know, you had a comic book, and it was a read along, and you played the record, and you know, they had voice talent and sound effects.
That's cool.
Yeah, that seems cool. That is cool. Yeah,
They were kind of fun, but
I've just added another tweet, another message after that. That, you know, this is very tongue in cheek, and everybody should read that carefully.
Are you on about because it says anal bomb party?
It is.
Yeah. But I always figured tongue in cheek meant that they had their head up their ass anyway. So I love this Goldilocks print here. First of all, the bears should be very scared of Goldilocks, it looks like, because I think she ate the bears before she got to the porridge. But
are we going to tell her our nickname for Goldilocks? Goldilocks.
Foldilocks, yeah.
Oh, Lord. And you know, it's I've talked about this with some guys that we had on from Mexico doing a show. It seems like every region has their own unique style of comics too. I mean, if I look at a drawing of a superhero, I'm either going to say, yeah, this was done by an American artist, or this was done by a Mexican artist. or this came out of the UK, because there's a very distinct look to like something Brian Bolland would do for 2000 AD. And I don't know if it's if everybody draws that way because that's what the local guy drew, and we all learned to draw from that, and kind of got a little different and went out. But I would definitely say that this was drawn in the UK when I look at it.
Yeah, Ireland, technically not part of the UK, but close enough. Shane O'Sullivan drew that Commie Mark story, who says Goldilocks is half Greta Thunberg and half Bristolian Dave.
How dare you?
Dare you?
Oh Lord!
Yeah, bunch of bullies. These CGUK people, terrible.
Now here we got. I remember this scene, except that the Little Mermaid has some exposure.
On.
Yeah,
this is that's the little bit thick mermaid. That is
a little bit thick mermaid. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you look at the fishes in the bottom right hand corner.
Yeah, I love how the female fish is looking over at the other one's like, pull your tongue back in your mouth. when she gets legs, there's not going to be a cloaca there for you to mess around with. So who's got the Little Mermaid story here?
That was written by me and drew by Graphic Goose, who done the hardback cover design. So the Graphic Goose is an interesting one actually, because this is his first go at drawing comics completely. Okay,
Yeah,
when we mentioned we was doing it, he was like, "Oh, I want to have a go."
Well,
I was talking to him earlier. Yeah, what you're going to see in this book is a good variety of experience. So there's some artists in here who are already published, like Rob and I, who have already, and Rabbi, whose work is on the screen right now, who you can tell, have some experience. And then there's newbies to it as well. And the whole point of that is, like we said earlier, we're getting new people involved and getting them their first exposure to the world of published comics.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about doing anthologies, is that there's a central theme, but there's multiple genres. You get the funny stuff, the serious stuff, and you get the experienced guys with the newbies. We published 2 anthologies here at Critical Blast over the past couple of years. The last one was The Devil You Know, and sure, all the stories were about people's encounter with the devil, but we had funny stories, science fiction stories, horror stories, and it was nice that we got some people who had some known publication history, because that's what's going to probably sell it to the people who don't know anything about a project. If they say, "I've never heard of this book, never heard of this publisher," oh, but it's got this guy doing a story in it, I always read his stories, I'm going to buy this book. And they get introduced to new characters, new writers and artists. Hopefully that will be the case here. Maybe there'll be some, I was going to say maybe there'll be a guy who's, a big fan of Tailless, but Area, you got to put the book out first. That was a joke.
He's gone. I think you've upset him.
Who? Sorry, hang on. Who? So I was just reading Mike Jimmy Losha de Brown. Goldilocks went to forage before she hit that porridge. Sorry, I was completely away with the fairies.
No, I was saying that hopefully people see your name on the book and get attracted to it because they're fans of your work, but you haven't put your work out yet that I'm aware of. So
was that at me, or was that who was that at?
That was at Aria.
Yeah.
Oh, at Aria. Oh, he is asleep, isn't he? Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I don't know how I missed that.
This Red Riding Hood here is by E.T. Madness, who I also believe is unpublished as of now. And it's
seriously,
absolute crime that
for sure.
he's not published already.
Yeah.
Well,
that is
E.T. Madness is one of the best artists in the book, hands down. The amount of detail he's put into that picture is insane.
Yeah, that's got such depth to it. And it's cartoony, but I like it. I like it a lot. Did he write this as well as draw it, or?
Yeah. This entirely E.T.'s work, that one.
Very nice. And then we got Night School. This looks more like a sort of Le Mort d'Arthur. Yeah, okay. It's backwards. Oh, that's the banner. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, the picture went up. Oh no, it's right forward. Check your arm at the door. So apparently, he sees the girl. The maid says, "Get back inside," and he's all sad, and he goes to drink with his buddy. We'll find out where that goes later on.
And so these are the extras.
Oh, we get the art prints. Okay.
This art print is by Shane O'Sullivan, who done the Goldilocks story.
And this looks like it's a sort of a mix of different characters from the different stories here, or? Because I see the frog prints.
Yeah, you've got the frog, you've got the princess from the Princess and the Frog, you've got Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and Rob's unpronounceable night guy.
Go on, give it a go. Give it a go.
No,
Try and say it.
no.
Come on.
Dave.
Dave the unpronounceable.
Hey,
They
I
call
can
me
only-
Tim. You guys got to get sick of having audiences with American interviewers and then just trying to look cool by throwing Monty Python lines at you. It's like, look how cool I am. Ha ha.
Yeah, we love it.
Actually, you know what? I live in Germany, and very often when people think of British humor, that's their first go-to.
Yeah, well,
Aria's God.
here in the States, Monty Python was played on like the public broadcast channel, and at like 11 o'clock at night. So they're making sure that there were all the kiddies were safely in their beds.
Right.
No one was going to get exposed to animated boobage.
Yo, sorry
Welcome
about
back.
that. The Wi-Fi.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Hey, he's back on the laptop now. This is
So
a
this
nice
is-
print from the zombie gingerbread man here.
Yes. It gives you another idea of what the story could possibly evolve into. But yeah, that was Lord Eric who did that, and it took him so long to do that with all the hands at the bottom and all the runes at the top. Like, apparently his hand cramped up a few times doing it as well. So it
Yeah,
gives
I'm
you
not
an
I
idea.
can imagine.
Yeah.
You get to that kind of detail, especially if you're not doing it. Well, even if you are doing it digitally, you still got to move the stylus around. So, the Amazing Adventures of Circumference. The little known brother of Circumcision, he gets around a lot more.
I see what you did there.
But this is going to be
That was a
what
wrong
is it?
joke if I ever did hear one.
You know what? I was thinking to myself, shall I mention that he's got a cousin? And I thought, nah. But hey, respect.
So now, what is this? Is this a stretch goal, or is this going to be an add-on? What do we got? What is it?
This is available as an add-on and available in the big package.
The highfalutin hijinks of the disastrous doings. Okay, so each one is its own little book.
Yeah.
And you get, look at this, you got badges.
I know. How crazy is that?
I love
People
that.
will wear our faces. It's like face on, face off, face on,
Yeah.
face off.
I'll just put it on, add it to my growing collection of badges here,
There you go.
which nobody can probably see. So I'm going to
Make him big.
him biggin. Oh wait, that's
Yeah, him biggins the spirit.
there we go.
Oh, yeah.
I got
Okay.
some. Even got a critical blast one there. But
Nice one.
sometimes we
That's
give
the
those
coolest
away.
one.
Who's the young lady on the badge?
Oh, the young lady is starring. That is us. Better shot here. That
There
is
you go.
Sonia
Oh.
Devereaux.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
And she's in a series from American Mythology, or it's published through American Mythology, called Starring Sonia Devereaux. She is the 306th best actress in Hollywood. And all her books. Yeah, and there is no like starring Sonia Devereaux #1. It's she's done like Vampire Academy #4, Snake Bear, Spider Shark versus Snake Bear, with no number at all.
Right.
It got real quiet, and I thought I lost my connection.
Oh, we're here.
But
It's just
yeah.
I was listening to you, so I shut up for a minute.
Todd and Nick do a great job with that. It's every book is just, she comes on, she introduces the story either because she's on a show or she's at a convention. It involves real actors, a lot of B-movie actors, a lot of scream queens that Todd and Nick both know, and they say, hey, you want to be in the next Sonya movie? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then they just, the rest of the comic is the movie, and then it ends with, her saying, hey, how'd you like the movie? Hey, I'm going to be here next. It has this wraparound structure to it. They're a lot of fun if you like, the up all night, late night, softcore kind of movies, because it gets racy, but it doesn't get like too racy.
I tell you what, our book gets too racy.
Nothing wrong with that. I've been looking for pictures of that happening here, but so far you've let me down.
We got to keep it somewhat tame. Can't show all the goods up front, right?
Well, are the goods up front? Because that's
the goods are up front, behind, however you like it.
Because yes, because I know the image that you guys sent me for making the where's it at? For making the thumbnail, there were these prints off to the side, and I'm not seeing those prints. I don't know how to get those because I'm very attracted to those.
They're going to be added as stretch goals very soon, hopefully. If we hit funding sooner, we add them sooner. But they're going to be trading card stretch goals.
Oh, trading card.
Stretch goals. Do we have it? Is that as soon as we hit the funding goal?
Either as soon as we hit funding, or maybe just before, to put it on there so people know.
Good plan.
All right. Well, it's 20 for the folks watching in the U.S. It's $27 to get this imported. It's going to be that because it's 100 pages, guys. It's a big book. Even the floppy one is a deal at that price. $35 will get you the hard one. Hey, you can get a hard one. We all thought it. We all thought it.
That's the last time I paid. How much did you say? How many dollars?
$35 US.
I'm just wondering when the last time I paid $35 to get a hard one was.
Yeah,
well, the little blue pills are 50. The little blue pills are 50, so this is a $15 discount. And you've had 5 people claim this already.
Yeah, that's been a bestseller so far.
People like the hardback.
Yeah, well, it's unique because you don't see too many hardbacks. I think the Kill Journal is the one of the few hardbacks I've seen, and I backed that because I wanted it in that version. And this is probably the one I'm going to back here. I've got to find out what shipping's going to be to the U.S. Has that been an issue for anybody yet?
Shipping is 10 Great British Pounds.
That's not terrible. I wonder how you pulled that off.
That's manageable. Yeah, I think that's manageable. Especially when I've backed books before and the shipping to Germany from the UK can be that or even more. Yeah.
Well, I imagine it's going to get hairier once Brexit's in full effect and we're all we're not in the same company anymore here, so now it's crossing true borders.
I think shipping out's more streamlined than it is importing. Like when you're importing, there's loads of weird taxes and rules that are changing because the Europeans are weird. But shipping out's fine. Like, I don't care where stuff are going.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how you manage to ship a 100-page book for 10 pounds because that's the other thing we do other than publishing books is we got the shipping and fulfillment service here for folks who are outside the U.S. shipping in because it was always so expensive most of the time. So we serve as a drop ship point, and then we break it apart and reship it from within here, and we get it down from like $30 to $10.
Nice.
If you
it was
want
something that I thought about, but with this book we have no idea how it was going to be
Hmm.
like perceived from like the customer. I didn't know if it was going to be like a massive hit or a massive flop, or if just a little bit of interest, a lot of interest. So it would have been. It was easier just to do this one ourselves, so we can kind of get like a ground level of where we're at for future projects going
Right.
forward.
Yeah, 'cause the plan is this is the first of several books that will come out under the Bargain Bin brand. Other anthologies, other ideas with new artists and all that.
I'll have to keep a watch out for that. I might want to play in your sandbox sometime.
Yeah.
Jake, you need your spell check turned on here. Yes, it is 10 pages, but with 4 with saucy content. I'm sure that's what you meant to say there. And yes, Kami Mark, shipping from the U.S. is a ball ache, but I've been working on that as well. I mean, the whole thing I set up was for shipping outside the U.S. But everybody's saying, hey, I can't ship to the U.K. cheaply. I've got it down to where I can ship from the U.S. a standard size book from the U.S. to the U.K. for $15 American, which I don't know what that is in pounds, but
About
about
10,
12.
isn't it?
12
£12.
pounds, maybe.
yeah, that seems about right. I think it was 13. I want to say it was 13 pounds on my spreadsheet when I calculated it, but that changes daily because of rates. But I need one particular linchpin, and that would be somebody to open the box on the other side. Because I've talked with Royal Mail, and it's like, hey, I'm going to print the labels here, and now I'm going to put them all in one big box and ship the big box over to the UK. And they're like, yeah, well, here's the thing. Those labels expire after 7 days of printing. I'm like, oh. So as soon as I print them, they've got to go now because the timer's on. And the plan is, of course, to just, pay somebody. There's money involved here. To say, go to your post office, pick up this box, open it, dump it, and walk back home with money.
I'm sure I've seen many films that revolve around that premise, and it never ends well for the guy.
Yeah, that's a lock, stock, and 2 smoking comic books.
Yeah.
and that's pretty much all it is. I like this here. You got the hardcover, the softcover, or both. Now you've got a few things here. It's some original art.
Drawn into the book bundle is an absolute bargain because you get a free softcover version with it as well.
Oh my lord, that's true. You do. So for $42, you're getting yourself drawn into the book, and you get the book. You could be in the Gingerbread Man. Now, I'm assuming you're going to get killed by the Gingerbread Man because he just looks really stabby.
Looks a bit stabby.
You can also get the original Dave Hingley art from The Princess and the Frog. This is 2 pages.
I have 2 pages of inks and 2 pages of pencils. So
That's
pick your poison.
okay. Oh, I see. So you're not getting 2 pages. There are 4 slots available. You can get one of the 2 or one of the other 2.
Yeah.
It's still a deal, but I thought it was like a steal deal for a moment there. Like, that's crazy. Now it's just, that's cool. You can get the Shane O'Sullivan original art. A lot of the original art here. Now, hopefully this is, going to go to funding the next book because it's great that you've got people actually making the art available. So many people do digital these days that there is no hand-drawn art to put out.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And Piper, I did see your story on the list. On the list of the stories,
Yeah, I'm sure Piper's on
where
there.
were you here?
Yep.
Yeah, Little Bo Peep.
Yeah, she's right here with Little Bo Peep.
There you go.
With Mike DeBrun. So wait a second. If Piper's doing a story about sheep with you guys, I'm really nervous because I know what she'll do. I know what she'll make somebody do. No, I don't. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Mike was an absolute geezer. He says to me that he wants some pages on there. So I was like, how many do you want? And he says, I'll put them all on except one that he's going to send directly to Piper. Like, that's
And
next level generosity, isn't it?
And you need somebody to edit it too, because she says that's not the name of the story, so we've got that wrong already.
I didn't have the name of this when that was done. I didn't have the finished name of the title.
Oh, she's
Now,
doing
this
the
looks-
Girl Who Cried Wolf.
Yes.
Oh,
I'll change
a
that
lot of
name.
That's not even
wolves.
close to Little Bo Peep. That's not even the same story.
It's close enough.
It's got a girl in it.
Yeah, and sheep.
Well, could be sheep. We'll have to
Hey,
see
it is
now.
a story. Close enough.
Now you can get 10 floppies for £100. This is what pretty much the retailer's level, right? You got a store.
Yeah,
you
well,
want
retailers or because I know shipping to the US is a ball ache for buyers and sellers. If 10 US people that are localish want to all chip in, like that will probably be like the biggest money saver for you guys.
that would be a deal. So yeah, if you're watching the show and you got some friends, you can get in with this. You can get 10 copies. Even if you only got 5 friends or 4 friends, you order 5 of them. You sell. You both got 2 copies. One you can sell on eBay. Now, will these be signed by anybody, or are they just going to be the books straight from the printer to the?
We was toying with ideas, but we're not going to say anything yet because we don't fully know.
Yeah, because
All I can almost guarantee is Rob's in Germany, so they're probably not going to be signed by him.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I imagine the
But-
logistics would be a big problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But having said that, are we going to talk about the big package and the add-on that
Yes.
is? If you go down, please, RJ,
I like
you'll
going
see
down.
the a man after my own heart. Right.
There's a delay, isn't there?
So, yeah, we decided to put Rattle and Roll in as an extra in the big package, and
Alright.
so those ones I will be ordering them in Germany and then signing them and shipping them to the UK for them to be
So
shipped
Rob-
off elsewhere.
Yeah.
Now this is from the unpronounceable company of
Well, yeah. Funny
Medi.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is
Oh.
my own personal imprint, and that's my first. That's my first foray into producing
I'm looking to the
commercial
side. Let me
comic.
give you a big screen.
Alrighty. So that's Rattle and Roll. But of course, because we're not here to promote Rattle and Roll, we're really here to concentrate on the Twisted Fairy Tales. But let me see, that's the wrong version. Well, this one is not for pre-sale, but this is the KDP version, which will be available in the big package. So all of you guys who are interested in 19th century New York tales concerning anthropomorphic rats and pigs, then that's your comic.
I like the idea. Is that an add-on?
If you go up to the top, it's the first perk, the featured tier.
Yeah. The only thing is, because the photo was
I'm
uploaded before we
trying to
decided to add that, it doesn't actually appear in the photo, but it's just,
that's why it wasn't there.
Yeah, I think it is mentioned there, though,
And now
isn't
you
it?
can't
If
change
you,
it because somebody's grabbed it.
yeah, exactly. So if you click on that, does it mention it? Yeah, it should mention it there somewhere.
I am not seeing it in
Yeah.
the list of items.
Uh,
Yeah,
Jacobus,
And now
you have
can't
one
change it
job.
because you have one person doing it.
Okay. So it's not.
Jack,
So we
you're
can't
muted.
change that. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
But you got it listed over here on the left side of the screen. So if somebody reads all the way down to the bottom,
Get
they'll know
exactly.
it. And
Yeah.
if they just pick here anyway, they'll get a surprise.
For sure.
They'll get something
Yeah,
they weren't
absolutely.
expecting.
Yep.
So I'm going to do the drum roll in my head. I'm going to reload the page to see if it's jumped up from the $440 US that it was at last night, which was at this morning. And I've done you absolutely no good at all. Times
Oh.
it just works out that way.
You know, we were pinning.
I like
Tell
to
me,
see
Obi-Wan,
things funded
you are
on-
my only hope.
It looks a lot nicer in dollars than it does in pounds, if that helps.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're only you're less than $300 away. You're more like $250 away from getting a backer, from getting it funded, and it's got 26 days. I'm guessing the first 4 days. Surely this is not 30 days in, and you're on your second 60 already.
Only been on 4 days.
Yeah, that would be a crime to think you'd gone this long, because this is a really fun looking book, and I think people are going to eventually jump onto it.
Yeah. No, it's a it's a small time book by small time creators. We got a small funding goal, but this is going to be such a massive success for all the small creators in CGUK and the European creators and some of the United States creators that are on with us, because no YouTube show has ever
will be.
done like this before.
Yeah,
This book is really one of a kind.
So I think with the first
because it's
YouTube
published
show
by a
to put
show,
book
isn't it?
out.
Yeah.
I will say that that's probably not quite correct, but maybe technically correct, because there is the Indie Volt Revolt, and the Indie Volt show, which is basically Arrow Comics 4.0. They've got the Indie Volt Revolt, which is like a 300-page anthology that they're putting. It's a phone book.
Wow.
But they're also technically Arrow Comics. But so
Okay.
We're gonna claim
I feel
it
like
anyway.
I got a
Screw
message
it, claim it anyway. Screw it.
I think it's so you're going to put the CGUK bargain bin brand in the top left corner of the book.
Not on the hardback. Oh, I'm getting a horrible echo. Is that from me?
I think so,
Apparently,
dude.
it's just you. No one else. Is hearing.
I think it was Dave. I don't know. Anyway,
Didn't echo here.
the logo will not be on the hardback because the hardback looks absolutely beautiful. It will completely
does.
ruin it.
It looks like a Necronomicon.
Well, it's designed to look like one of the classic fairy tale books you'd see on like an old cobwebbed up bookshelf. Like if you go to the back of the library where no soul has been for years, that's where you'll find that book. And
I feel like this book should open. Like if I'm watching this right now as a video, that the book should just open by itself. There should be like a great big picture with a little bit of text under it, and then we zoom in and we're into the cartoon, and that's there we are.
yes,
Somebody get on that. We need some animation. We need CG animation stuff. Yes, show the logo, Rob, please.
Oh well, I was actually hoping Jacobus would be okay with that, but what do you reckon, Jack? Yep, he says yep. Okay, it'll
we
be
get
there
some
in a
crazy
second.
everyone.
I know. What's going on? And it's not me because I've got headphones on.
I've got headphones on, and I'm not hearing the echo.
Ah, I'm totally hearing it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have to find the. No way. Right. Just talk among yourselves, and I'll find the.
Okay, well, I'll just talk about everything I know about the UK. Doctor Who, BBC.
The Beatles.
Did you say Doctor Who?
Yes. Oh, which one? Now, which one you got there?
Capaldi, wasn't it?
Peter Capaldi, I think.
But if it's not Tennant, it doesn't matter.
So what's the general consensus over there about Jodie as the Doctor?
Piss off.
No, I go against these guys. I kind of like some of their stories. So
I knew that they were going to go with a female Doctor at one point. I just kind of hoped that they would have cast Jenna Coleman in the role, because I thought there was foreshadowing for that. There was several times when she was with Matt and with Peter, where she was in the show and she would tell somebody, "I'm the Doctor." I'm like, oh, are they getting ready to kind of tell us that she's going to be the Doctor?
Huh.
That would be. Look at that. That's not a bargain bin. That's a bin.
that is a bin.
Have we got a name for him yet?
Binny.
Binny.
Vincent Van Gogh.
Binny McBinface. Yeah,
Vincent Price.
The plan with this is, so he's got a really weird smile in this one because this anthology leans more towards the humour side. So the next anthology we do, if it's like a horror anthology, he will have like a scared expression on his face.
For example,
And then
yeah.
like
Yeah.
action, he'll have like a gritty, determined, just something to make it different again.
Yeah, you could even have like different people draw him. So like, if you have a more realistic style, almost like a photorealistic bin, it's like maybe even a photo, and you just kind of like superimpose some face on it that looks like it came alive, like the Book of the Dead sort of thing.
Oh my god, I'm going to be have fun with that over the weekend. Whose face am I going to take first, Dave?
You just use it now for your show opener too, because you just get some Elton John going, Benny, 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 and you just run that on a loop till it's really annoying.
Half an hour is.
No, that's cool though. I like that.
Cool.
You have to have a logo, the text around it to let people know that this is a CGUK bargain bin show or bargain bin comics.
There's another thing coming.
Oh, BBC bargain bin comics.
Nah, the BBC's crap. We're way
Because
better
I've
than
already-
the BBC.
I've already referred to our group as the Bargain Bin Crew, which also comes out as BBC.
Yeah, but
As well, the other
BBC can also
BBC.
stand for something else, and we don't really associate.
Oh yeah, those BB beep.
I don't know what I was going to say because I've already paid for the URL and.
BBC's weird though. I had the opportunity to interview Jodie Hauser about her run on the comic book with the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who, and I was able to send in 10 questions, and they sent it back and said she can answer 9. We've had the BBC came in and struck one of the questions, and it was the question about why the Jodie Whittaker Doctor is so anti-gun, because it just was so forced every time I watched an episode. I was like, okay, has something happened in the story that has made her or him or the Doctor? I don't know what pronoun to use anymore. It really throws me off.
Not at all. I mean, if you look back at all the history of the show, many of the Doctors not in every episode, I grant you that, but I don't think you'll find one episode where the Doctor himself picks up a weapon. I mean, he'll use the sonic screwdriver, but I'm trying to remember which story it was, but I know there's a Tom Baker one. It's probably Genesis of the Daleks, where he talks about, weapons and guns. So yeah, absolutely. It's not just the Jodie Whittaker era; it's other eras as well. And Peter Capaldi did a whole, a very, very deep monologue on the folly of war.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm sure is out there as a meme, because I think I've seen it there somewhere.
I literally, this is a weird coincidence, because earlier I was watching a video specifically about guns in Doctor Who, and
Really?
yeah, and it seemed very clear to me the problem here. The problem is, say for example, like David Tennant, he's my favorite Doctor, so I know his episodes quite well. The problem was that he would pick up guns and he would have no problem shooting guns when needed. Same with Capaldi and same with Smith. His problem was using them for violence. And then Jodie Whittaker's, every other episode there seems to be a reference to not using a gun, but with no explanation as to why. She's just anti-gun.
Okay.
Yeah, at least with Batman, you know why he doesn't like guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he picks one up, it's a big deal.
Yeah, like the Doctor's
Unless that's what they're
is that
waiting
there's
for.
better ways of dealing with things, never violence.
Yeah.
That's just never explained in the Whittaker era.
Well, and it's not like the Doctor's above violence. I mean, when he's Matt Smith, he's like,
punches.
yeah, and well, yeah, there's the violent punches, but when he's running up against people who've never met him before, he's like, you should search that database and find out how many deaths are attributed to my name. And the flying saucers pause and they stop and then they turn around and hightail it out of there because like, oh my God, it's the Doctor. So he killed them peacefully. He euthanized all these Daleks. That's what it was. It was they died in their sleep. It was an explosion, and then they slept, and then they were gone.
But aren't there episodes where he gives people a choice, and if they don't decide to accept that choice, then it's on them.
And yeah, he has always been kind of I don't like weapons or I don't like this. But with the Jodie Whittaker one, it was like it was like, let's drive that point home every time.
I never noticed that then.
We're gonna have a very contentious episode of Bargain Bin about Doctor Who soon.
Possibly.
How can you not?
I'm gonna have to, yeah.
All right. Is there anything more I should be talking about other than Doctor Who right now? I mean, we were told to talk amongst ourselves, and we were supposed to be talking about the Twisted Fairy Tales.
It's all good.
Just how twisted the thing's going to get here. Let me know. Give the horny Americans a reason to buy this book.
Well, the best way to do that would be, Rob, if you want to read this poem.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me make you big.
As
right,
Rob is
small.
You don't need to make me big, Rob. Make the audience big.
Hang on. Let me get some water. Good. Twisted Fairy Tales, the YouTube show you love to watch, bring you an anthology truly top-notch. Over 14 stories, over 80 pages. Rest assured, this is not for all ages. So sit back in your chair, drink up your ale, grab your copy of Twisted Fairy Tales. Showcasing creators, both old and new, the Bargain Bin knew just what to do. Cool art, cool stories, all from cool scripts. To top it off, we've added some sexy chicks.
Boom! There, that's a sale. That was a very long and eloquent poem, which Mike Jimmy has reduced to a single word.
Too long, didn't read. Boobs.
So there will be boobs. And we've seen them on the little bit thick Mermaid there.
Yeah, I really want to stress the bargain of the 10 floppies for £100 is an absolute steal, but the big package as well.
Yeah, you get so much in that big package.
Yeah, we're really going to have to work on your pronunciation of big package. Yeah.
The big package.
see, here's the confusing part, Rob, is that we've established that there's going to be boobs in this book. You've got their attention, but now you're telling them to buy the big package, and like, I feel awkward.
Maybe we need a new name, the Big Rack.
We're not going to watch you while you do it, if that helps.
the bargain bin rack. Yeah. So I have accidentally double-clicked this, but I've done this enough to know now that it's not going to show any of my credit card information. So
hang on, what?
So hey, it's $21 to ship 100 books. $142 for the books themselves. It's only $21 to ship that. That is an insanely good price for shipping.
Sure.
So, yeah. And yes, you all got to see my address and the address of the company, but it's not like I don't always throw it right up here on the screen for people to just, hey, you want a sticker? Send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to Critical Blast at 1097 Prestwick Drive, Belleville, Illinois 62221, and we will send you not only one, but two of those 3-inch holofoil Critical Blast stickers that you can share with friends and stick on things. 10 books, not 100. Did I say 100 books? Okay.
That would be an even bigger bargain, that would.
Damn.
Get
but
100
even at 10 books, it's going to be 800 pages.
That would be 80-page books. This is 100-page books.
Oh, I think we're around about the 80 page. Yeah.
It's 80 over 80 pages of story, and it will probably be close to 100 pages in total because we're going to have like the creator section at the back.
What?
And I imagine you'll probably get some pinups along the way here too. I mean, just from people who want to support a CG group. There's a lot of CG artists out there who will.
We're still trying to convince that Dave in a mankini would be one of the better ones to go with. But Dave is, Dave's given us some resistance.
I told you, anyone wants that card, it's the £1 million stretch goal. All right, and I will pose for it myself.
I tell you what,
You only need
Dave,
to sell one.
Resistance is futile. Everybody knows it.
The red mankini, we'll call it the Vampy Bristolian or something. But yeah, I imagine you'll have some people who would love to draw. Get Ethan Van Sciver to draw you like a sexy Cinderella or something. Yeah, you can just donate it. Kidding.
Yeah,
That would never
that's what we're doing. Just help the little guy.
Exactly. Which used to be.
That
used to be what
drawing you,
CG
Dave,
was
it's going
known
to take a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to need more than one
I was just-
pencil.
I was going to, add the help the little guy with a picture of Dave in a mankini, but
Gonna
not
have to do the bargain bin swimsuit edition for.
We do have some questions out here, which I've been diligently ignoring. I wonder, do Americans have their own version of grim fairy tales for gruesome kids? Twisted Tales reminds me of that show with a bit of Mad Magazine. I think we've done some sort of twisted fairy tales like that. I don't know offhand what it was. I know we talked about the Fractured Fairy Tales cartoons of the late 60s, early 70s. Neil Gaiman? Oh, yeah, here's an American version. I'm going to pick a British author now. Neil Gaiman did Snow Glass Apples, which was a twist on Snow White that made her a vampire and the villain of the piece. But yeah, I'm sure there's stuff out there that's been done. Mad Magazine, Cracked Magazine have probably done all kinds of stuff with it. I can rattle off a list of the Cinemax late night softcore porns I've watched that were like that, but it's not exactly what we're here for, or are we?
We'll list them in our inspiration section.
there was Cinderella with an S. The only one I can actually think of. And of course, there was an Alice in Wonderland, which was in the back room of the VHS store, which tells you how long ago it's been since I've seen that. All right, guys, I'm running out of clever things to say, and I said both of them in the first 5 minutes. So it's been a true pleasure having you guys on the show here. I love watching you guys on your channels. I try to tune in as often as I can because they come on late night for me. So I'm up. I've got nothing else to watch, and you guys are very entertaining lot.
Appreciate
our moments.
Thanks so much for having us on, RJ.
Yeah.
Glad to do it.
It's nice.
I'm very interested in this book. I'm going to, continue pushing it out to our followers and readers. I think it's something that they'll enjoy. And there's definitely no complaints about the shipping. Usually that's the big problem. So I don't think that's going to be a hurdle for you guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here and watching the show. We do not have a show without you guys being here. Share, like and share the video, not for me, but so that more people come and see these guys and pick up their book. It's all about our guests. It's always all about our guests. And